fitness influencer with thousands of followers on platforms like Instagram and TikTok is revealing chilling details about a man who she says stalked her for months. That man, she claims, was a Riverside County Sheriff's deputy, and a new lawsuit filed in federal court accuses him of abusing his position and accuses the county of letting him get away with it for far too long. We're digging into the wildest details from this complaint with trial attorney Adante Pointer. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
Bro, this guy literally launched the police investigation into a woman he found on Instagram
against Riverside County, California, and several of its current and former law enforcement members, accusing them of violating her civil rights. According to Ortega, she met one of the county's deputies at a family festival in the Coachella area when he gave her young son some stickers, right? But what should have been a passing interaction, that soon turned into scary stalking behavior, according to this new complaint. This is behavior that would eventually lead to a deputy losing his job and being convicted of multiple crimes. Now, I'm going to go through this lawsuit. I'm going to go through the response from the county. These kinds of lawsuits. So it's a great guest to have. We love having Adante on. Adante, law and fact, big picture in a community.
Ability of the police in the community and the trust that the community by law and therefore mandated and required law. The very business of law enforcement.
Take a closer look at the lawsuit, which was filed at the end of August in the U.S. District Court for Central California. The County of Riverside, Eric Piscatella, the deputy at the center of this.
Mochi! I'm just streaming. Right now, we got about 4 hours of stream left, unfortunately, but that can always change. In chat, after midnight tonight, the Night Wheel will be making an appearance. The Night Wheel.
Ongoing stalking scandal. The sheriff and current Republican candidate for governor, and according to the San Bernardino Sun, worked for the Riverside 1 and 2. So, Piscatella, according to the San Bernardino Sun, worked for the Riverside County Sheriff's Department for 5 years, from March 2019 to October 2024. He was reportedly assigned to court services and patrol in Thermal, this is an unincorporated area that's part of Southern California's Coachella Valley. Okay, so now you have the background, you get the context. Now, we're going to get into the criminal case against Piscatella as well, but as we go through the filing, it is important to know that the now former deputy did plead guilty to multiple counts of misusing his department computer access, okay? So the complaint's introduction gives us an idea of the allegations. Quote, this civil rights action arises out of the predatory conduct of Eric Piscatella, a county Riverside sheriff's deputy, who, while in the course and scope of his employment, repeatedly used law enforcement resources and databases to illegally access the personal information of the plaintiff to stalk her and pursue a romantic relationship with her.
Yeah, it was like looking her up, her files, like.
And Ortega claims that it all started almost exactly while in the course and scope of his employment, very important language there, defendant Piscatella in the city created an opportunity to access her personal and private information. According to Ortega, the two did not exchange contact information, but her name was all Piscatella needed to find out more about her, months after their brief initial contact. Hey, we're talking an influencer right now. Let me tell you something. If you're thinking about how to get content seen across a lot of different platforms, Opus clip videos across the clean, show you how a few minutes or Insta across all videos are, share clips. Listeners have a lot to grow your own audience. So Ortega told the LA Times that she'd forgotten all about this guy when he suddenly appeared in her life once again. The lawsuit reads, on or about January 25th, 2024, defendant Piscatella searched for plaintiff Ortega using his RCSD patrol vehicle's computer. Okay, Adante, let's stop right there. This is an apparent major violation, right? All sorts of industries that have access to personal information, hospitals, police departments, schools, they can't use the systems to look up details about a person for their own use. I guess the only defense would be there was some sort of legitimate purpose, but that doesn't seem to fly.
You're exactly
yo, chat.
Out right now, but still wanted to
Drake.
show some love.
Use the access
Stream is going good.
Thank you so much, Derek.
For their own personal
I know the alerts are still fucked. They were fixed before stream, and I went live. They're not working, but that was Drake with a $20 TTS in a wheel spin. Chat. Thank you guys so motherfucking much. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you. Shout out to Derek. Shout out to Mulan. We got our second wheel spinner stream. We already got AM cartoons. Let's add some hours to this slut. What do you say? This slight little stream we got. Should we just do a DJ set or should I respin? This is the one from Valentine's Day. I left it on there. What do you think? I'm down to DJ the last hour. Yeah, we'll throw a DJ set in. Why not? What a heel note.
Sexual interests. And
Or
so
play
what you
music.
have here is and there are actual laws in the state for their own, which he ultimately pled to.
The key word there, by the way, is he did, right? Because according to Ortega, it wasn't just the actions of one bad apple. Quote, based on information and belief, defendant Deputy Martinez Moreno and Does 1 to 2 were present when defendant
No
go about
way.
proving that you have multiple wrongdoers here, that multiple
Thank you so
coworkers saw
much.
what he was allegedly doing and didn't step in.
Knowing full well that he was doing so for law and to no snitchment.
Legal search, Piscatella was able to obtain the home address of the plaintiff and other personal and private information, including her cell phone number. Following ascertaining the plaintiff's address, Piscatella showed up at the plaintiff's residence in the city of La Quinta in his patrol vehicle without legal cause. Armed and in full uniform, defendant Piscatella questioned the mother of the plaintiff regarding the location of her daughter. Based on information and belief, defendant Deputy Martinez Moreno and Does 1 to 2 were present in the patrol car for this interaction and neither stopped or reported
he tracked her down.
Defendant Piscatella's illegal activity. The lawsuit says Ortega's mother was, quote, alarmed and concerned, but refused to tell Piscatella where her daughter worked. Okay, Adante, in this kind of situation, I think they're very keen to suggest
what up, Ty?
Armed, in uniform, have no choice, that they have to tell police.
Uniform and on it. At the same time, you do have rights as a citizen, is provide, and if you go in the people because our and very
where she'd never given him her number, right? So Ortega says that she ended up responding, wanting to know where they'd met, and he said at a festival in Coachella. So the lawsuit says plaintiff Ortega did not recall giving defendant Piscatella her number, nor did she understand the nature of the text communication. Therefore, she did not continue the conversation.
She left him on red.
After her sister was a victim of a crime in February of 2024, the plaintiff reached out to defendant Piscatella seeking law enforcement assistance. Despite only asking for law enforcement assistance, defendant Piscatella shifted the conversation to pursue his romantic interest in the plaintiff and asked to take her out on a date. Plaintiff immediately ended the conversation and ultimately changed her phone number for unrelated reasons. And that is when Ortega says things really started to ramp up in the spring of 2024. Quote, in the subsequent months, Deputy Piscatella's romantic interest in the plaintiff escalated to an obsession, leading him to routinely illegally search the plaintiff's private information on law enforcement databases, including on May 31st, 2024, when it was determined defendant Piscatella ran the license plate number of the plaintiff while his patrol unit was determined to be in close. Stop Piscatella from using the information systems this way. And if you can believe it, 2nd, 2024, defendant enforcement incidents of the plaintiff while armed and in full uniform entered the residence of the plaintiff without consent or legal cause, falsely claiming a black man with dreadlocks had jumped over her backyard fence, attempting to break into her.
No way he showed up instead. He saw someone try to break in hopes she's gonna buy this
residence. This July 2nd, 2024
Welcome
encounter happened
so
just 3 minutes after Tella without makeup. Plaintiff was confused. Cell phone number because telling her senses defendant Piscatella. Once inside the residence under false pretenses, defendant Piscatella immediately began to make romantic overtures towards the plaintiff, telling her how beautiful she was without makeup.
Dang, look at him. Being a gentleman. Baby, you look so beautiful without makeup. Good thing that guy didn't break in. Good thing I was here.
And asked for her new cell phone number because she had changed her previous number.
He's like, yeah, and I noticed you changed your previous number I also illegally obtained. What's your new one?
Was confused, scared, and uncomfortable and began recording part of this interaction. Evidence, right? They can look at this. Okay, Adante.
She got a video.
By the way, is a recording like that.
This deputy in his uniform, patrol car, and his position of authority to hold his digital phone. Your tracking appears to be this true classic guy.
That she maintained conversation with him, that she asked for his help when it came to her sister. Does it
asking for help? from a member or a person of law enforcement. Isn't it in terms of what she was looking at? I think as a member of law enforcement, and then you access law enforcement, there's a conflict because look at the
new phone number while under duress and only for the purpose of investigating the possible crime the plaintiff to further pursue his romantic interest, including stating he would steal plaintiff from her boyfriend. Plaintiff immediately asked defendant Piscatella to stop messaging her as it was unrelated to any crime, and defendant Piscatella's illegal conduct was reported to law enforcement. Civil rights violation, computer civil suit, and
looking at the prime did he in order to
That's nuts.
the course harassment
will to take time, right? When he's on the lawyer verdict
for relief. With information and belief, defendants Piscatella acted as he did in part because he
What a
knew or was
stalker
otherwise
boy.
aware there was no enforcement.
Legal mumbo jumbo, but ultimately could prove fatal to the lawsuit if they prevail.
Right, and Mulan doesn't want to hear any more about that stuff. She's at work all day putting away bad guys like that. She probably just wants a break.
Did you steal a prop from the iCarly set?
Yes.
Which prop?
I stole a couple. I stole a shampoo.
A shampoo.
I stole a pear pod box. What else did I steal? I'm sure there's something else. What? What? Huh? We love thievery?
I love Jerry
Did you
Trainer.
steal a prop from the iCarly?
I appreciate you. No, I'm messing with you. I know you better than that. I know you wouldn't mind. Ain't it fun? Reed Wilson. What's this whole Nancy Guthrie thing I keep